Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Wastrelcraft. So I've been doing a little bit of work around the base here, trying to clean some things up. I got the setup here for my automatic camel pack filling, and I think I'm going to just rearrange this a little bit. It's not too bad, but I did have to pull a tesseract out of it here. This is just for snowballs, snow and ice. And yeah, I don't really need to be using tesseracts for the receiving of items here. I can actually use my ME system because the ME cable is back behind this someplace. I also got my ME set up here on top. I moved all of my drives up here. Every one of these is a 16, which is really nice. So I've got 11 16K drives now. Got quite a bit of room for expansion, which is good. And I'm going to have to get rid of a bunch of this other stuff here coming up. Also, I got this set up over here for my magma crucibles and fluid transposers. Now, this is something I was always having problems with, and that was running out of liquids while I was crafting things. And so I went ahead and set up a magma crucible for each one of the major fluids that I'm going to need: the resonant ender, destabilized redstone, and energized glowstone, which I have yet to use any of this stuff, but now that I have it, we can start using it. But so on the back of these magma crucibles, I just have an export bus pushing the appropriate material into the magma crucible. It comes down through this reinforced tank to give a 32 bucket buffer, and then into the fluid transposer. So between the three items here, we end up with 52 buckets of the fluid. So that'll go a long ways in just about any crafting recipe. So on these, I just have, on the back side of them, I have a ME interface that has patterns in it for the items that I want to make. And then underneath, I have more interfaces to accept the completed items. So because the interfaces can't have a facade on them, because we don't have the facades, I had to use these block covers so the front of the machine sticks out a little bit past the transposers and magma crucibles, but I think that's okay. Also, behind this cover right here, I have a tesseract. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Behind this cover, I have a tesseract which is powering the whole system, and I have ME cable running under the floor to give access to my network. So also, as far as the network is concerned, I expanded my molecular assembly chamber. So I now have 10 pages of patterns here. So I've got a lot of room for expansion on what I need to do here. So that's good. I've got a lot of items in here. I've added a lot of them since the last episode. I went ahead and got setups here for all 8 of the ME drives, all the way up to the 16 meg drive. I don't think I'm going to be getting that one anytime soon. It is incredibly complex to get there. But I've got all of that set up. I also have here the patterns for our wireless access point, wireless boosters, and the access terminal. So I think I'm going to make those right away here, because I do get a little tired of having to constantly go back to the terminal to get what I need. But I've got this set up in a 5x5x5 pattern, which gives me the 10 pages of pattern storage plus 17 crafting processors. So yeah, it crafts really fast now, which is really nice. One other thing that I did, and I may set up this last fluid transposer for it, but I'm not going to need it for anything else. I went ahead and got gelid cryothium into our big reactor. And I've come close to weaning myself off of just about all of the other forms of power that we have. But right now I'm running this reactor at a very low output rate, and we are still producing 419 RF a tick. We're only using 25 thousandths of a millibucket per tick on our Gilorium, so we're using it very slow. It's been 2 days since I set this up, and we've only gone through 50 ingots of Gilorium, and I'd say half of that was prior to me getting this gelid cryothium in there. So yeah, we haven't been using much. If we fly up here on top, we can see what I've got the reactor set at. So we're set at 70%, so we're only giving 30% output on this thing, which is incredibly low. I guess we are a little bit low on power, probably because I just placed down a whole bunch of machines, so they drained a whole bunch of power off of the system. But you can see it's building, if it is doing it slowly, but at least we're gaining power. So for now I'm going to leave that alone. If I start to see an issue of power loss in areas, I'll come and boost that power a little bit. So today, like I said, I want to get that wireless access for the ME system done. I want to get a little bit more of this rearranging and organizing done for the machines. Want to redo this one so that it looks a little nicer. And then downstairs, I need to get these pulverizers moved, and this induction smelter. I'd like to get a couple more induction smelters. I need to get a few more redstone furnaces and get them placed in and automated. And also, I went ahead and took off the vacuum hopper for the slag. It was just taking up space in my ME system. We've got a good amount of stuff in here, and we've got a good amount of stuff in here too. I guess there's that tank of gelid cryothium. But I'd kind of like to get that hooked up so that it's automatically importing into the ME system. And let's see, what else was there? Oh, these my pneumatic craft seed machine. So I did a whole bunch of work on this thing and got it to where it will now do squid seeds as well. So I have here a big long column of commands that this is for setting up the squid seed and the water. Then over here I have it checking to see if it was a squid seed. If there's more squid seeds, it won't pick up the water, and over here, if the water is already out, it won't put it out. So it's a little bit complicated, but when the squid seeds get done, it does pick the water back up, which is good. The problem that I have noticed with this system is that whenever I have multiple seed types in the chest, say I've got a whole bunch of seeds that take dirt, and then one that takes netherrack, and one that's going to take water, the system doesn't know how to handle it. So I pretty much have to stick with one seed type at a time, which kind of stinks, but that's the way that it's going to go. And the final thing that I really want to get done today, I've been having problems. I've got it turned off currently. I don't know why that's up there. I have my auto crafting of the gravels turned off currently because they just really clog up this crafting system, and I want to get it to where that crafting of the gravel, sand, and dust is independent of the ME system. So for that, I set up patterns for cyclic assemblers, and I've got all of the stuff to go with that. I've got the patterns and the machinist workbench, so we'll get that set up. And I'm not sure where I'm going to place that. I suppose I'll probably put it on this wall because I'm going to be pulling all of this stuff down. I think I'm going to import all of this stuff out of these barrels and put it straight into the ME system since we've got a whole bunch of space now. So, yeah, I think I'm going to start working on that, and I will bring you back when I've got a little bit of progress to show you. So I've completely pulled down this system that I had to do the water, and I moved everything out one block. Before, the ME stuff was going into the wall, and that doesn't work too good because I've got nothing to cover the back sides, as I've said before. So I had to put an interface down low and then use item ducts to bring the items up and out of the lower areas into the machines. So I don't really want to be doing it that way. So this is still exactly the same under here. What I have, I guess I don't think that I showed this. I have just a standard redstone clock vanilla setup. This is just using a comparator and subtraction mode with a repeater and a loop of redstone. Now, one thing that I did here was to have the repeater push into a block so that I can have this torch flash while still powering the redstone. And the power source for it is a level emitter, and this is set to emit a signal when I get less than 10 full camel packs in the system. So that's a pretty simple setup there. You know, anyone that does anything with vanilla redstone, that's pretty easy to do there. And the input could be literally anything. So now what I need to do here, I need to put a block of aluminum right on top of that. And it's unfortunate I end up with this seam around the front of this. And I guess to deal with that, what I could do is I will remove all of this floor here. And I'll probably do the same thing over here. Well, no, that won't even matter because now I'm going to be putting covers on the front of that now that I think about it. So yeah, that doesn't even matter. So I'm going to put this all back here. So now on top of this, I want to put my liquicrafter. So this now can accept things. So now I want to put next to it this interface. Now I think I can do this here. This has an export configuration of camel packs, and we will hook that up to the system. And I just want to see here, okay, it's not putting the camel packs in here, so I may have to try wrenching this just a little. If I set that to push that direction, is this going to work? No, still not going to work. So I'll have to just remove that. And now I've got more, so we're just going to go with a basic export bus instead. And yellorium dust. No, I don't want to be exporting yellorium dust. No, won't accept it anyway. So we'll take the camel pack here. So that's all of the empty camel packs that I have in the system. I'll go ahead and put that here. Now I need to grab a water bottle, because I need to be able to set up that pattern. So grab one water bottle and try to go up. Okay, so then if I take this water bottle and make my little pattern, now that'll give me a full camel pack whenever a redstone signal is applied to this. So now I need a fluid duct right here. And I am going to put a servo on this. Okay. Now, on top of this servo, we need our... Actually, first I'm going to use up this water drum, because I had a bunch of water that I had to pull out of the tanks here when I moved everything. So now if we switch this, now that should pump almost all of that out into here. Alright. So that's empty now, so I can pick that drum back up. And now we will set down our resonant tank that is full of water. If I can get it up there. Okay, now, I think I do need to flip this. Is that gonna... No? Okay, well, anyway. So now, on top of that tank, I am going to place a tesseract. This one is not the one that I want. I want this one, frequency 2. So this is set up for water, and I need to put on my my jetpack real quick. So we'll put this not there. So frequency 2. And we are going to place that on top of this tank. And that will keep the tank full. If I can get up here, my gosh, that's terrible. Okay, so now that puts our water into the system. Now, a problem that I am going to run into here is powering this stuff. Now, this one doesn't need power, but the other one does. But I guess right now we won't have to worry about that. So now what we need, I need an ME interface, and yeah, this one's the configured one, but I'll just remove the configuration on it. And then I need an item duct, and what we're going to do here is we're going to put a servo on this. I'm going to ignore the redstone signal, no, and set that to suck items out of the crafting table, or the liquid crafter. So now that system should be fully automated once more. So if I go ahead and come over here, grab a few camel packs out of here. We have 14 currently, so, or I guess that was 11. So we should see now there's 9. We should, yep, there's one more back in, one more back in, another one back in. So looks like it does a few extra as the signal tries to catch up, you know, because the clock will pulse a few, or at least once after the rate is already reached, and then there's all the stuff going through the item ducts and everything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how that's working now. So now, like I said, this little spot here on the floor is no big deal because we're going to put a cover on the front of this. And this is just to make it symmetrical with the one across the room. So I've got so many blocks of aluminum, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use these all up and make this a solid machine. Doesn't really matter, we can always put more things into this later too, which is nice. So yeah, that's working there. Now the other one is this glacial precipitator. Now we're going to set this here, and basically what I want to do here, this thing is going to output pretty much no matter what. So we're going to change our configuration here to output to the back, input from the side. Alright, so now what we need to connect up our ME cable. No, yeah, we do need an ME cable there. And then I need a level emitter. Now this one is set up only for snowballs. I don't think that we have a need for snow blocks or ice currently, so that's no big deal. So we're going to go with a level emitter. Let's make one of those real quick. There we go. And then we will grab a snowball. We got 192 of them in the system currently. I don't know how many we want to maintain on this, but what we're going to do, we're going to put our level emitter here, and we're going to flip this to where it's pointing up. And then we are going to put in our snowball. And I suppose we'll just say maintain 256. So it'll make a few things. We're going to set our redstone enabled to high. And for now, we're just going to place down this tesseract here. That'll give us some power into this thing, or it should. Oh, okay, we're not receiving energy. There we go. So now this should make snowballs now. Oh, well, it turned off. I've got that backwards. So emit levels when emit when the levels are below. So now we're making snowballs. Come over here and take a look at this thing, and I better eat a sandwich here. Take a look at this thing. We got snowballs, 219, so we're getting close. Of course, it makes 4 at a time, so it goes up pretty fast. We're looking for 256, so here just shortly this level emitter should turn off, at which point the glacial precipitator will stop running. So that'll work just fine. What is going on with this thing? I don't know. It was... Oh, because that block was powered, it was shutting the tesseract off. Interesting. So now the level emitter has shut down, so that will not be making any more snowballs. So that'll be kind of nice. We'll have our automated snowball production for whatever we might need to use snowballs for. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dress this up a little bit. We'll make it look reasonably decent, and then we'll move on to the next machine. So I've been pulling a whole bunch of the stuff out from down here in the basement of the Tech Dome. Just trying to clean things up a little, and took all of those barrels that were here and just dumped them right back into the ME system. But looking at what we've got in the ME system, we've got 37,000 flint, 27,000 salt, 22,000 Certus quartz, 22,000 charcoal, and it just goes on and on. We've got a lot of items that we have a lot of, and we don't even have any cobblestone in here. So I think what I want to do now is get a few deep storage units set up, and I'm probably going to run those along the ceiling here, and I might run a whole bunch of them here in the higher levels of this segment of wall. So we're going to need to go set up some patterns for that. Now, the deep storage units, they take a filled tesseract frame, so it's a good thing that I've got that system set up. So if we look at our deep storage unit, we need our tesseract frame, which we have, plastic sheets, and then we need a reinforced strongbox. So this takes a hardened strongbox, which takes a regular strongbox, which takes a chest with tin. So first I think I need to grab the tin, because, well, ME isn't quite smart enough to figure all that out. So first off, we'll set up our pattern for the deep storage units. Then we'll come in here and get the one for the reinforced strongbox, which we have all of that stuff with the exception of the hardened strongbox. Then we come in here and we get this guy. And then finally, no, wrong. Finally we get to this one, and this is where that tin is going to come in handy because we've got to replace all of that. So we'll go ahead and encode that. So that should give us everything that we need to now make our strongbox, or our deep storage. So that will go here in this page. And actually, when I think about it, we've got a couple of strong boxes that came from when we first showed up here. So maybe we ought to come over here and take a look and see if we can grab those strong boxes. I've got all of this stuff over here that I have yet to clean up too, so it's going to take a little bit. So one of those strong boxes is already gone, but we still have this one, and it looks like we've got a bunch of tree saplings in there. So can we break this thing? No. We have to use the wrench on it, don't we? Yep. Okay, so then we're also going to take this down. And I suppose eventually we'll pull this all up. I don't have any dust on me right now to fill it back in afterwards. Then we still have one chest over here. I don't remember what's in there, and a couple of little holes to fill in. So we've almost totally removed all of the remnants of what we had here originally when we started. Yeah, I'm not really much for nostalgia. I will tear things down if it doesn't suit me. So let's come over here and we'll drop this strongbox into the system. So this is just a regular strongbox, and I think because it has an owner on it, oh, and it still has its contents. So we're going to have to remove the contents here. So we'll go ahead and just dump those into the system. Then we'll pick this back up. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and make this into the hardened strongbox right away. So this should, oh, it still has the owner as the map maker. Well, that kind of stinks. Well, I guess we need Invar. And we've got this stuff set up for easy crafting. So that kind of stinks that those don't work. So I suppose what we'll do next, we'll make a couple of those strong boxes of the reinforced ones. We'll make 2 of these. This should give us everything that we need. Alright, so now to turn these into reinforced, we just need to do this. And we should be able now to do the... Oh, we need the Tesseract frame. So that will take just a little bit. We'll start that, and then we need some plastic. So we'll go ahead and craft a stack of that. And then also, I'm going to go ahead and craft a whole bunch of this raw plastic, because that takes a while to process in the furnaces. So now we will go ahead and set all of this up, and hopefully these will work with an owner on them. I don't know if there's a way to remove the owner on these. I've never really messed with the strong boxes too much. No, there's no way to remove that, unfortunately, so hopefully this works to put that into a recipe for a deep storage unit. Oh, whoops. So we'll just see here. Alright, there we go. So now we've got our deep storage units. We got rid of our original strong boxes. We're going to go ahead and make a couple more of these, because we're going to need a few more, but I'm just going to make a set of them right now. And I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to go downstairs now and start setting some of this up. So first thing here, I need some water. I want to get an aerial interface set up from Pneumatic Craft, and that will give me the ability to have this camel pack automatically changed. That will be really handy when I can get that done. So what we can do here, I don't know if I want to, I think I'm going to set these out 1 block away from the wall so that we can have a little bit of room for the machinery down below. So let me grab some aluminum blocks. And I keep using these aluminum blocks for building because, well, really I have no use for them, and I have tons of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place in some aluminum blocks here. And I'm going to, how do I want to do that? I don't know. Suppose I can just go ahead and cover up those lights. That's too bad. But I guess that's the way that it goes sometimes. So now we're going to set these deep storage units in here. And then I'm going to place underneath them, I need a precision export bus. So that's an import bus. So we need an export. We need a precision export bus. We're going to make that. We're going to put our camel pack back on. Should have what we need here now. So there's our precision export bus. And this first one, we're going to put our flint in this first one. And I'm looking at getting I can't think of the name of it. The quantum ring for applied energistics, and usually you would use cobblestone to make the singularities that you need for that. But since I've got so much of this flint and really no use for it, I think what I'm going to be doing is putting that flint as the item that I'm going to compress down for that. So this should now start dumping flint at a high rate of speed into that. Oh no, we need to set that to move stacks at a time. So now that'll start dumping at high rates of speed into here. And then after this is finished, I will take that back off and put a storage bus underneath and move to the next deep store. And I'm going to do this for probably anything that I've got more than 10,000 of, so all the way up to the gravel. So, yep, I'm going to go ahead and do all of this, and then I'll be back. Well, guys, I had no idea the episode was running this long. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to get everything finished today that I wanted to, but we did get a fair amount of stuff done. I'm really happy about getting the machinery kind of cleaned up here on top. And, yeah, we're going to get that deep storage stuff set up and start moving the pulverizers around. I'd also like to be able to get this ME system behind me cleaned up and looking a little better, but that's going to have to wait for another episode. So if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. Helps me so much. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!